Hi everyone, my name is Ellen. I'm a teacher, and this week we're actually on spring break. We have 2 weeks of spring break, but being that it is the COVID-19 era now, I'm looking for things that can keep me busy and engaged and connected. So here's one of the ways that I'm going to do this. I'm going to present to you a little cooking demonstration on making lentil soup. And I have all the ingredients here to make it. And so I'm going to run through it with you, the ingredients, and then I'm going to show you the way I cook it, and then I'll show you the finished product. All right, so here we go. So what you need is, of course, lentils. Any brand of lentils will do, lentejas. I'm a Spanish teacher. Lentils. Some bouillon or broth. If you have broth, that's great. I use some chicken bouillon. Sometimes I use ham bouillon when I'm making lentil soup, but for today, all I had was chicken. So whatever's in your cupboard. Next thing is pepper and salt and pepper. So those are the basic seasonings. I'm going to add some more seasonings, but definitely some salt and pepper. I do my own tomato sauce. I make it, I can explain how to make that too, but here's a little jar of my own tomato sauce that I made. And basically my tomato sauce is very simple. It's garlic, like 3 to 5 cloves of garlic, 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, the 28-ounce size. I use the Tudoroso crushed tomatoes, and then basil. And you don't have to get the fresh if you don't have it, but you can just use the dried basil, and keep it real simple. And then I put some roasted peppers and some cooking wine. I'm not a drinker, so I use cooking wine, but any wine will do in the sauce. And that's my tomato sauce. So I'm going to use a jar of tomato sauce in the lentil soup. Okay. So another ingredient that I learned when I lived in the Middle East, I lived in the Middle East for 6 years, is lemon. So the Middle Easterners put lemon in their soup, in their lentil soup. So I always like that flavor, the little tang. So you can do this meatless or with meat. I'm going to do it with meat today. So I have some sausage. So I'm going to cook up some sausage and throw that in the lentil soup. So I guess that's all the ingredients I'll go over with you. And I'm going to move my camera to the stove. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just put it like that. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to turn on my stove. Can I use like medium to high heat? I'm going to start the lentil soup too at the same time as I cook up the sausage. So I just take I use the sweet sausage. You can use any kind. You can use the spicy sausage, the sweet sausage. I just chose to use the sweet sausage. I just like the flavor. And I do like heat in a little bit of heat in the lentil soup, but I don't think I'm going to put that today. I'm just going to use the sweet sausage. No hot pepper today. No hot pepper. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to put a little olive oil in my pan for the lentil soup. And I'm going to put a little garlic in there. I like a lot of garlic, but I know some people aren't garlic fans, so you don't even have to use garlic if you don't want, which is, oh my gosh, I can't imagine cooking without garlic, but there you have it. Some people don't cook with garlic. So I'm gonna, and wash your hands before you start. So I'm gonna put the sausage in the fry pan to cook up. Some people use, the links, or not links, but like the sausage, in the casing, and I use that to make a separate spaghetti sauce. So that's something that you could use as well. And if you have Hamburg, if you want to use Hamburg, that's great. If you want to, whatever works for you, use. Okay. So I'm just gonna let this get heated up here. I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, so I always have a towel handy to wash my hands, to use for different things. Okay, so I have the garlic. So I'm gonna use, you know, any kind of, you can use the, you know, the jarred garlic if you want, the, you know, the garlic that's already minced. That's fine too. So here we go. So I have some garlic. I'm gonna chop it up here. So I'm using, let's see, I'm using 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2. My husband would always get mad at me for using too much garlic, but I don't think you can go overboard with garlic, to be honest. It's good for your health too. It's good for your stomach. All right, so I'm going to use 3 cloves of garlic in the soup. And then, of course, the sausage probably has some garlic in it too, so that will be that flavor from there. And I like a real flavorful lentil soup. You know, that's why I use the lemon. That's why I like to have a little bit of wine in it and tomato sauce. There's different ways to make it, obviously, but this is just one of the ways that I make it. And you know, so this is going to be kind of like the Italian / Middle Eastern kind of lentil soup today. But there's other ways, like you can make it with vegetables if you're not into the meat, or if you're vegan. You can use the, you know, like celery and carrots and that kind of thing, so that's fine too. So I'm going to cook up some garlic. Cook up my garlic. Let it get a little bit cooked there. Okay, and then I'm going to put on my water boiler. I love my water boiler. So my water boiler is going to be used for the broth. And again, like if you have homemade broth, that's great. Anything that you want to use is wonderful. Okay, so all right, so I have my garlic cooking. And my sausage. The sausage is cooking too. Alright, so I'm going to add the tomato sauce after, but I want to get, like I said, I want to get, I know with the lentils you're supposed to get the stones out of the lentils and all that good stuff, and I agree that that's a good idea. So I'm going to put these in a bowl. And I've got to remove this from the heat because I haven't. Okay, so I'm gonna put the lentils in a bowl, and I'm gonna just kind of file, you know, go through them. Use scissors to open these. So I'm just going to go through them and just feel for stones, and then put some water in there and see what floats to the top too. Get that out of there. So here we go. I kind of go through the, I usually don't find too many stones in lentils. Oh, there's one. Yeah, there's a lentil. Okay, so here's my lentils, and I'm just going through them just to make sure there's no stones in there. Okay, and then mix up my sausage a little bit. And this sausage, the sweet sausage, like I said, it was in patties, but I just break it up a little bit so that it can be, you know, so I can use it in the soup. That's not just like a big patty in the soup. It's like, so here's some Goya chicken bouillon. So every packet takes 2 cups of water. So I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna get that going. And the sausage is cooking away. And then my water is ready. So I'm just gonna mix that in there with the powdered chicken bouillon. I'll give it a little stir. Any spoon will do. I'm just gonna add that to the broth. I mean to the garlic. I'm gonna probably do 8 cups of bouillon. So here's 4. I'm gonna get that started with the lentils. So here we go. So I'm gonna move this back, the sausage. And so I'm gonna put the lentils that are stoneless into the broth, and there's garlic in there already, and I'm going to add some tomato sauce. Then I'm going to get some more water going for the bouillon. I'm going to do that. Okay, so a friend of mine suggested I do this. Because every night during the the COVID-19 well, I guess you could call it self-quarantining, but I'm making meals, and it's just stuff for me, and I share it with neighbors if they want some, and I live in a condo complex in Deep River, Connecticut, so I'm just, she said, do a little cooking show, so I'm like, okay, so I thought about it today, and I had nothing planned. I'm on spring break. I'm a teacher, so I'm not doing the online stuff this week. I'll be doing that again starting next week, or 2 weeks, in like a week and a half. But, so, anyway, so I'm like, I don't want to just sit here all day and just, obviously I have things to do, and like everybody, but my house has never been cleaner. I've been like totally doing the vacuuming and the cleaning every day, kind of getting that all in order, and that has kept me busy too. My bathroom's never been cleaner, my floors, my kitchen, it's like everything's very, very pristine. So, okay, so the sausage is still cooking. The lentils are starting to get cooked. I'm going to wait for the water to boil, and then I'm going to start to add more broth. Then I'm going to add the tomato sauce that I made, and then I'm going to add the lemon juice, salt and pepper, and I have some spices. So I'm trying to think of what to use. So I have curry powder, I have cumin, and I have Southwest chipotle. So I know there's a little variation here, but I'm going to try to put together a little flavorful, maybe a little kick to it into the soup. And you can use any spices that you have that you prefer. Like if you like Italian seasoning, use that. If you like the herbs de Provence, you can use those. It really is kind of like anything goes. Okay, so I'm going to put the sausage right into the soup. Just going to break it up a little more so that it's not in big chunks. So I'm going to turn that burner off. Now I have an electric stove, so I use like medium to high heat. I probably should just, about medium to high. But if you have gas, of course you're going to adjust it according to what you need for that. And Okay, so there goes my boiler. And I highly recommend getting a water boiler if you don't have one. When we lived overseas, everybody had water boilers, and it's really a wonderful invention. Whoever invented them, it's wonderful. Okay, so here's some more broth. Do one more broth packet. My broth is gonna, and I do love to make homemade broth, but the bouillon is great in a pinch. I mean, really, if you want to keep it simple, the bouillon is wonderful. So here we go. Here's some more. So that's like 8 cups. I probably will end up doing 10, so I'm just going to put a little more water in the boiler. And, it just depends on how much, I don't want to overfill the pot. But it takes up to, like, I think 12, so I think I might do 10. Alright, so here's the sausage. It's all cooked. So it's all broken up and cooked. I'm just going to dump it in there. I even dumped the juices. I'm not going to lie. I don't mind. I like the flavor. So even when I do tomato sauce, like if I do it with sausage, I bake the sausage, and then I put the juices from the sausage into the sauce, to make a quick sauce. Okay, so that's that. So the sausage is in there, the lentils are in there, the garlic is in there. All right, so now I'm gonna put some tomato sauce. Now, normally I might not put a whole jar, but I think I'm gonna do that today. So a whole jar of tomato sauce. And like I said, this is the product of 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes with garlic and roasted peppers, wine, salt and pepper, and basil. So that's going in there. And then what I'm going to do is the last bouillon that I put in, I'm going to actually put right into the jar so that I can use the rest of the sauce to be careful that you don't put your hand on it, because that's an easy thing to forget, because it's going to be boiling water. So I put the bouillon in there. I'm going to swish it around when I get to, when the boiler is ready. Okay, so I put the sauce in. I'm going to give it a stir. So it looking good. So I've got the lentils in there, I've got the tomato sauce, I've got the sausage, I've got the garlic. I haven't put spices in yet. I will get to that. I'm going to put some wine in there, a little wine. So that's going to go in there. I don't know. I don't really measure, but you could just put like maybe, a couple tablespoons. I'm just going to use the rest of it. So that's going in there. The lemon juice I'm going to put in there. So I'm going to cut the lemon in half and squeeze it into a bowl so that I don't get the seeds in there. So I'm going to squeeze it into a bowl, into my cup measure. Just squeeze that right in there. And then take out the seeds. I had one seed that doesn't want to come out. There we go. So that came out. So I'm going to put that in the soup, the lemon juice. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way of putting when you put lemon juice in or certain things. Like just, if you have a better way to do it, that's awesome. So and there's salt in the bouillon, so I don't really put extra salt in, but I will put some pepper in, some black pepper. So that is going in there. And then I'm going to put a little curry. So I have I just broke it. Oh, that wasn't very good, Ellen. All right, so here we go. A little curry powder. Maybe a teaspoon, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to open it up and put a teaspoon in there. So I have, here's my teaspoon. So I'm just going to put a teaspoon of curry. I'm going to put a teaspoon of cumin. And, in. Then I'm going to put some, this is Mrs. Dash salt-free Southwest Chipotle spice, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. Maybe I'll I'll put a teaspoon of that in too. It'll be very flavorful. I put a teaspoon of that in. My boiler just boiled. Okay, so remember, if you're gonna do anything like this where you put like hot water in a jar to, like a can or a jar, just remember that you did that because you could burn your hand. So just get like a cloth, not wet, make sure your cloth isn't wet. So you just grab onto the jar and then put the cover on and you can shake it to get all the sauce out. Ah! That was not very good. All right, so anyway, so I did that. So yeah, and it's very hot, so I put that in there too. I'm gonna put a little more water. Okay, so that's it. That's all for that. Okay, so everything is in there. So all the spices are in there. The tomato sauce, the sausage, the lentils, the lemon juice, the wine, everything with tomato sauce, I think I said. So now what I do is I let it cook for, let's see, I'm going to say, I'll put the timer on for 30 minutes, and then, whoops, and then if I need to adjust, if the lentils aren't done, and a lot of times I end up cooking it for like an hour because I just like the flavors to get really nice and rich. So, so that is the plan, and I cook it uncovered because the only reason I do that is because if it does end up getting, you know, getting a little like boiling, and I've been away from the stove or something, I'm just kind of like doing other things, I don't want to like have like a big mess on my stove. So I am cooking it uncovered. Excuse me. Should go into my elbow. I'm gonna go wash my hands. So that's my lentil soup, and like I said, you know, there's variations, you know, there's many ways that you can do this, a lot of different variations. You can make it Italian, you can make it like Middle Eastern, you can make it like just like a rich, hearty, like vegetarian lentil soup. It's really up to you. And then what I do after I make the lentil soup is, or while I'm making lentil soup, is I make my dessert. So today I'm going to do banana cream pie. And I'm not going to do it right this second. Like I'll do maybe that on a separate video, but it's really easy. So I'm going to make some banana cream pie, so that'll be ready for later because it has to kind of set. And also sometimes I make cornbread to go with it. I like cornbread with lentil soup. To me, it's really delicious. So that's it. That's my lentil soup, and I'll just put the camera over here so that you can see it a little better. So there it is. Whoops. Oh, that's not it. There's my lentil soup cooking. So I hope that everyone is doing well, and I will look forward to the next time that we are together. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye.